What really goes on behind the doors of Jungkook's family home until BTS's friendship ties are in danger of crumbling? And who will dare to reveal this shocking truth? What made Jungkook's family finally open up after months of silence? Since rumors of a broken relationship with Jimin circulated among fans, various speculations have sprung up. Accusations of betrayal, tensions on stage, even rumors of infidelity. All of which culminated in a secret fight between two of the closest friends in the K-pop world. However, what exactly triggered this rift? And why is Jungkook's family only now talking? The first hint came from a short interview leaked on social media, when one of Jungkook's brothers alluded to shadows of the past that never got done. Is that enough to break the trust built over the years? The story begins on a seemingly ordinary day. A backstage video of the concert suddenly spreads, showing Jungkook and Jimin seemingly avoiding each other. In the eyes of the audience, it was just the nervousness of the stage, but behind the scenes, the tension was already building up more than just one of the comments made during the sound check. A whisper from the production assistant reveals a short message Jungkook sent to his manager. "I can't take it anymore." What is it that makes him suffer behind his soaring popularity? A week later, Jungkook's family, who had always maintained a fragile image of the idol, decided to speak up. In an official statement released through an agency representative, they revealed old secrets, the unseen pressures of a hectic schedule, old wounds that haven't healed, and the family's hopes that rest on Jungkook as the backbone. Friendship is a priceless treasure, but when one party feels neglected, the cracks begin to creep in silently. Jimin's family, who had also been holding back, did not remain silent. A close relative of Jimin confirmed that their friendship was briefly tested by differences in views on their respective solo projects. Jimin explored darker and experimental musical concepts, while Jungkook chose a light pop path. The cross of ambition is what slowly creates distance, not only on stage, but also in rehearsal rooms and family events. They are like two twin brothers who suddenly discover that they have different identities, the relative said. The 47-second video, which includes footage of a light argument in the makeup room, is now strong evidence of how the tension escalated. In the video, Jungkook's voice sounds high when he rejects Jimin's proposal of vocal arrangement. Jimin's voice replied in a cold tone, then, "Do it yourself." 2 seconds later, the screen goes dark, a sign that the camera is turned off. Symbolic? Hints that their friendship is also at a standstill. The issue became even more heated when a photo of Jungkook's family circulated, showing Jungkook's father and mother with gloomy faces, like carrying a heavy burden that they didn't want to talk about. The photo was taken as the family gathered to celebrate Jungkook's birthday, but their expressions were caught sad and worried. What family secrets did they hide until that happy day turned gray? Some fans suspect an internal conflict with management, while others whisper the theory of the existence of hidden financial problems. Everything further obscures the truth, more dramatically. An old friend of Jungkook who did not want to be named claimed to have been a silent witness to how Jungkook cried in the recording studio after a violent argument with Jimin. He said, "I've never felt this way before. Not because of him, but because I feel like I failed to maintain our friendship," said the friend. Jungkook's grief engendered deep empathy, but it also provoked an overwhelming sense of curiosity. Did Jimin realize how deep of a wound he had left behind? On the other hand, Jimin's fans find clues in the lyrics of Jimin's new song that are much more wistful and full of meaning. The lyric piece, "When the light goes out, who stays by my side?" It is considered a subtle sarcasm to Jungkook. There were also cryptic comments about neglected promises, fueling speculation that one of the key promises between them had been broken. These clues seem to invite the reader to put together their own puzzle of truth while the family and management keep their mouths shut. The story became even more heated when an anonymous open letter circulated on fan forums, purportedly written by one of the production staff. The letter said that the breakdown in their relationship stemmed from a sudden decision. Jimin decided to postpone performing with Jungkook at a charity event to complete a solo project, without discussing it first. The decision left Jungkook feeling neglected at a time when he needed support, a wound that had presumably never been spoken about publicly until his family stepped in. Why did Jungkook's family choose this time to speak up? Some celebrity psychology experts call the momentum of BTS's latest world concert a trigger. The pressure to perform perfectly in front of millions of fans forces internal conflicts to unfold. While on stage, this should show unshakable togetherness, but behind the scenes, things can be much different. The family's statement appeared to be an attempt to cool things down before the rumors magnify and cause more concern among their staunch supporters. Now, the whole virtual universe is waiting for the continuation of this drama. Will Jungkook and Jimin reconcile openly? Or is it that each of them will tread the path of an increasingly distant solo career? One reliable source hinted at a secret meeting between the two stars in a private studio with no media coverage, an apparent attempt to save the friendship. However, no one knows what the room is talking about, and the outcome will determine the fate of the most iconic relationship in the K-pop world. Amid the storm of speculation, one thing is certain. The truth revealed by Jungkook's family opens a new chapter for fans to understand the human side of idols. Behind the gleaming spotlights and cheers of the army lies a story of fragile friendships, wrapped in ambition, family hopes, and promises waiting to be kept. Now, all eyes are on one last question. Can these two friends find the reason behind their wounds and rebuild the once fractured trust? And if not, will BTS's golden era turn into an unforgettable farewell story? As the news of Jungkook's family's statement spread, the army and media spotlight did not go away. At this point, we'll dive deeper into the family's point of view, how the story of the breakup of this friendship really began, and what emotional impact they felt while keeping secrets to protect the young star. The Jungkook family's beautiful but empty residence. The mother begins her story softly. Jungkook has always been a warm and caring boy, he said as he looked at a childhood photo of his son, who was still small, running around the yard with his siblings. But his gaze turned wistful as he recalled the night Jungkook came home with puffy eyes due to the tears he never wanted to express. He never wanted to tell us, until we found out the weight on his chest was too heavy to bear alone. Those nights, family sources said, Jungkook often refused simple dinners in order to stay in the rehearsal studio until late. Not just professional dedication, but hard work covering up disappointments. According to his older brother, he told the manager, "It's not about performance, it's about a heart that feels empty." We could only look at each other as a sign that this was no ordinary crisis. Meanwhile, on Jimin's side, pressure arose from invisible expectations. Jimin's relatives told him that since childhood, Jimin grew up with the urge to always be a counterweight. He always tried to maintain harmony, even when his heart was hurting. But when Jungkook signals his resignation, Jimin doesn't know how to deal with it, as if the responsibility of that friendship has now piled up on him alone. Guilt prompted Jimin to write sad lyrics in his solo project, not expecting that the message would be interpreted as an allusion to his close friend. The most critical incident occurred on the sidelines of their latest world tour. Ahead of the show in Seoul, the two separate routes to the backstage, Jimin arrives first, followed by a hasty-looking Jungkook. Sources said that after Jimin's solo performance, Jungkook looked at him blankly and immediately passed away without a word. A brief scene recorded by one of the staff was enough to blur a winning smile on Jimin's face. It was like reaping a little storm, the staffers said. Outside the stage, fans asked for clarification via the hashtags #FamiliTruth and #FixJamJK. The hashtags were filled with emotional comments. Some supported Jungkook for speaking up. Others called on Jimin to make room for his best friend. This is not a war of who is right, but how two individuals can survive in the midst of the spotlight of millions of pairs of eyes, wrote one army. In this dynamic, it is revealed that a voicemail Jimin sent to Jungkook while the two were a part of the hotel not for broadcast, but as a heartfelt phrase. "I fear the day when we no longer understand each other has arrived. If you still hear my voice, please tell me you're here." The seconds of the message ended with Jimin's muffled sobs, further reinforcing the suspicion that their friendship had once entered a crisis point. Later, it was reported that the agency was facilitating a closed-door mediation session between the two idols. A small conference room, dim light, a candle lit as a symbol of hope. A source from the agency said that the first session was tense, with Jungkook and Jimin sitting at a distance, reading a single sheet of notes, the contents of each apologizing and appreciating each other's roles. But the full content of the note is still kept secret. In fact, news broke of a sudden collaboration single designed as a musical apology for ARMY as well as a sign of reconciliation between them. The song is reportedly titled Bayang Bersama, describing the shadow of a friend who is always there even though he is invisible. Is this just a PR strategy or a real manifestation of the intention to repair the bond that was cracked? Only time and ears will tell. Now, let's look at the psychological impact behind the scenes. A celebrity psychologist revealed that when celebrity friendships are tested in the public domain, internal stress can trigger excessive anxiety to mild depression. The artist's identity, which is closely intertwined with the public image, makes personal conflicts difficult to talk about. This is where the role of the family becomes important as the foremost protector, he said. Meanwhile, on social media, fans shared their personal stories, how their own friendship was once tested, and what helped them recover. These stories seem to be wrapped in the thread of life between idols and fans, uniting the two worlds in sympathy and hope. They sent digital prayers, heart emojis, virtual candles, to a video montage of Jungkook Jimin's memories together. At the end of this narrative, one question still resonates. Will these two closest friends write a new, stronger chapter, or will the crack leave an indelible mark? In every note of the song, every stage move, and every whisper behind the camera, they carry a story that is not just a celebrity story, but a mirror of an age-tested friendship. And for us, storytellers, all we can do is keep listening. Because in this glittering world, the truth is not always the light, and true friendship sometimes survives just behind the most fragile cracks. Inside the silent mediation room, Jungkook looked straight at Jimin. Moments passed like moments of burden waiting to be revealed. He began with a low voice. "Jimin, I feel so guilty because I never told you that your solo music idea meant so much to me. I got stuck thinking about other people's expectations, forgetting to appreciate my own best friend's voice." Jimin's eyes glazed over, holding Haru hidden for a long time. He replied, "I was wrong too, Jungkook. I forgot that our friendship is not just a duet on stage, but supporting each other every step of the way, including when you need to be heard." The small audience there, including agency representatives and families, exchanged glances. An important moment is plastered. Two friends re-knit the bond that was torn. However, this is not the end of the story. Jungkook's family confirmed in a closed-door discussion that they were still crying night after night, worried about their son's future. Meanwhile, Jimin admitted that the burden of balancing made Jimin sometimes suppress his personal desires to accidentally shrink Jungkook's space for expression. Outside the building, a crowd of fans waited for news of the mediation results. Many recorded live from mobile phones, exclaimed Haru when the two idols in the form of angels were seen from afar walking out together. There were no words other than a meaningful smile. That's when the hashtag #JKJimReunite suddenly jumped to a regional trending topic. But the phrase, "actions mean more than words," was repeatedly written by fans, reminding that intimacy in front of the camera is only one side of the whole story. Observers of the K-pop music industry assess that this reconciliation will have a positive impact on group dynamics. Since their debut, Jungkook and Jimin have been known as the Golden Duet, often holding the lead vocal roles. A wave of support emerged from competing labels, with even some senior artists sending the message, "There's always light at the end of the friendship tunnel." But behind the praise, there is a question. Will they be able to maintain the balance of ego and creativity in solo projects going forward? Following the meeting, the agency confirmed that they would be postponing the announcement of their respective solo projects in favor of releasing a collaboration single, Bayang Bersama. This plan was considered a strategic move restoring fan confidence while celebrating tested friendships. Critics advise, however, to proceed with caution. Too much discourse in the media could raise the question of whether this is purely a work of art or simply a commercial apology. Not far from the public spotlight, in a small cafe where the two friends used to hang out, the walls were plastered with BTS concert posters and photos from rehearsals. "This is where it all started," said a barista who knew them since they were trainees. He added, "They used to sit in the corner there, joking until they lost track of time. I hope they find the joy they once had." These simple words remind that behind the glitter of the stage, there are small spaces that hold sincere happiness, and the strongest friendships are born from mutual laughter. But on one side of cyberspace, conspiracy theories arose about the involvement of HYBE management in this conflict. Some forum users claim that the agency deliberately brought up the crisis to build buzz ahead of the world tour. This wild speculation was immediately repelled by the agency in an official statement. There was no fabrication of the conflict. We believe our two members need time and space to resolve personal issues, as do people in general. Yet this tangle of news adds another layer of tension. The truth, once again, oscillates between facts and assumptions to Jimin's family residence. The atmosphere was